Welcome back to Man Reacts. We see a lot of content on social media saying that men are avoiding getting married. Men are having a transformational shift in their mindsets when it comes to long-term relationships. Do you wonder why this happens though? Is it just because men and women are now too busy making a living in this day and age where the world's most developed economies are not doing well? Or is it because they're being influenced by extreme woke ideologies that are confusing them about the concept of a long-term commitment and partnership? Let's deconstruct some of the top reasons why men avoid marriage and then see what's the main reason behind it. To do that, we need to see why men have historically wanted to get married in the first place. Marriage is not inherently more important for men than for women. Marriage can bring a range of benefits and challenges for both partners, including emotional support, companionship, shared experiences, financial stability, and legal protections. However, the importance of marriage varies from person to person and is influenced by cultural, societal, and individual factors. From a man's perspective, marriage can offer several benefits, including emotional support, a life partner to share experiences and memories with, financial stability through shared assets, and joint decision-making. It can also provide a sense of responsibility and commitment, as well as a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. However, these benefits may vary from person to person and may depend on the quality of the relationship and the level of compatibility between partners. Simply put, men marry for intimacy, social value, feminine comfort, and purpose, which is to be a provider. But when they don't get intimacy, or they don't get that warmth and comfort they need, they start to avoid it. They start to avoid marriage when they don't really need to be a provider because women are providing for themselves. They're CEOs and government leaders. They're decision makers and policy shapers. They're earning in the 6 digits and more. Now, I'm not saying that I don't support or appreciate women being in leadership positions. I totally do, and good for them. But when it comes to marriage, the changing roles of women and men have led to the changes that now exist in the concept of marriage. Previously, men and women married at a marriageable age when the woman was in her fertile prime and needed a man to start a family with. The man at that time was expected to provide for the woman, give her a home, and help her raise the children. Now, when the woman does not need a man to provide for her and does not want to have children in her fertile prime, she chooses to spend that time chasing the corporate dream that the woke feminists shove toward her. She chooses to climb the corporate ladder throughout her 20s and most of her 30s. And after the age of 35 and even up to 40, she suddenly realizes she has hit the wall. She realizes she probably cannot have babies, and that makes her frantic and desperate to find a man to settle down. On top of that, she realizes that all the men who flirted with her and wanted her over the last 10 years have moved on, are financially settled, and living happily married lives. So she realizes that men would rather be with younger women who are fertile and not too busy chasing their corporate dreams. And that's when it hits through the roof and she starts going on an anti-man narrative. But what about men? You see, before all of this, men didn't realize what women who had hit the wall really wanted out of them. Men in their late 30s would get married to these women and realize that they just wanted a partner to have kids with. The divorce rates increased. More and more men lost their rights to see their children and had to pay alimony on top of the assets, such as houses and cars, to these women. In all of this, men realized 2 things. 1, the legal system is designed to work in favor of women and use men's resources to pay for their financial expenses for the rest of their lives. 2, women were never aligned with their men in what they wanted to achieve in life, and there have been many cases where women had actually planned to marry wealthy men only to divorce them and live off of divorce money without having to work for the rest of their lives. Women have deceived men into marriage only to take away their resources. A lot of the credit goes to the MGTOW movement that allowed men to share their experiences and opened each other's eyes regarding the true nature of women. They realized that women are hypergamous. This means that women will always date up in socioeconomic ladder and will most likely monkey branch off to be with wealthier, more sociable, and more valuable men, throwing the concept of loyalty right out the window. And so, this created a transformational shift in the hearts and minds of men who saw women for what their nature was and decided to go their own way. Men are now avoiding marriages because they don't want to lose their resources. They are avoiding marriages because it's just not a good personal investment anymore. I mean, why would a guy marry someone knowing that there's like a 90% chance he will end up divorced, and then everything he has worked hard for since the last 20 years is probably going to be taken away from him? Men are avoiding marriage because they know that no matter what happens between them and their wives, the justice system is most likely going to see them as the guilty ones and punish them for it. Men are avoiding marriage because they know they can instead spend more peaceful lives without women. They know that there's no point coming home to a woman because she's not even going to be there, and B, she's only going to complain and whine. The empowering responsibility to be providers no longer exists for men, and this was the biggest reason men used to get married in the first place. Men would rather marry someone young and in her fertile prime, then marry someone their own age or someone older than them. But more and more younger women are also choosing their careers over starting a family, so that doesn't leave men with a lot of options. You see, the MGTOW movement opened men's eyes to the realities of relationships and marriage. It allowed men to create a safe online community for themselves where they could talk about the times they had suffered at the hands of women. They could share their stories of trauma and figured out that the best way to live a considerably peaceful life without the drama and negativity was to not get married at all. So, the uncomfortable truth that women need to hear is that men are avoiding marriage like the plague because they've realized it's just not worth destroying their life. They've realized that it's something that's not good for their mental health and that they can do so much better and more without women. Thanks for watching. Why do you think men are avoiding marriage? Let's discuss in the comments. If you enjoyed watching this, please like the video by pressing the like button and hit the bell icon to subscribe for more Man Reacts.